All right, hey everyone, welcome back to another vinyl update for you. Of course, this is about a month after my last one, uh, longer than I anticipated, just, life, everything going on. But I am back, gonna be the um, second half of just what I've gotten over the past few months, also some pretty new stuff within this last month that maybe wouldn't have been in this video if I had made it before, so that's cool. But yeah, just to get right into it, it's about 20 albums I think to show you this time around, and who knows, maybe I'll be back sooner rather than later next time, but anyway, we'll see. But to start, I do want to do the album I actually got most recently that probably wouldn't have been in the video if I made it maybe a week or two in the past, but that is going to be Rosalía. Fantastic album. I probably don't need to tell you guys just how great this album is. One of my favorites of last year, like, again, many of you probably. But yeah, lucky enough to have found this local. I know it's been a pretty hot commodity these past few months since it's come out. But the album sounds fantastic. It was funny to see that they're just in these plastic sleeves, the records, and of course it is a clear vinyl. But I don't really mind it. It's kind of a fun little thing. I maybe wish they were just slightly thicker, but I'll take this over paper any day probably. So just to, conserve the quality of the grooves and everything like that. But yeah, really sounds really great. The bonus tracks too are fantastic as well. I don't believe there's 3 new tracks specifically on the vinyl edition. And there's slight alterations, I think, at least to one song, the God is a Stalker song, which is actually one of my favorites on the record. That is a slightly extended version on the physical release, and I think up a key or two, which is really really cool. But yeah, I love this little lyric book too. It kind of folds out into like this cross shape, and there's also photos of her and just of the album process. I won't take it all out for you, but yeah, really great. But yeah, if you haven't heard this yet, do yourself a favor. Really great album, and glad to finally have it physically. So yeah, next is going to be, let's see, gonna be, I'll start from the beginning then, after that. Next, it's gonna be another one I've been meaning to pick up for, since it's come out. It finally was a wide release last year, even though it is from 2024. It's gonna be Chromakopia, Tyler the Creator. Cool, he got, I think, Best Album Cover at the Grammys this past weekend, so that's pretty cool. At least he went home with something on Sunday, and it's a great cover. Of course, it's, I believe, an homage to Bowie's Heroes, maybe among other things also. But yeah, love this album. One of my favorites from Tyler now at this point. I think just love how personal he gets, how expansive he gets in his production palette. This is, of course, just the standard, wide white release vinyl. It also has the track Mother on it, which I do like quite a bit, even if it maybe overstays its welcome a little bit toward the end, but I think it's still a very important track to the album's story and everything. There's also, I believe, there's like a lyric sheet. Oh, that's from Call Me If You Get Lost. That's still in here for some reason. That's my bad. But no, there's the booklet, the photo booklet, I believe lyric booklet as well. But yeah, really, he always puts a lot of thought into his physical releases, so it's always fun to get. And yeah, next will be, let me put these back in here. I'll mess with it later. Anyway, Next is gonna be, okay, so this is a bit of a makeshift one for me. I just did quite recently, so you may not recognize it right away, but this is gonna be the Weeknd's Hurry Up Tomorrow. Of course, this was one of the many covers he released with like the first pressing edition of the record, like the shortened edition of the record, which was interesting in itself, but also kind of can be seen as kind of a cash grab for some people, and I don't deny that. But I did, of course, eventually purchase the full album, which I think the album as a whole is fantastic. I think it's one of his best for sure. But eventually got that whole album. I wasn't a huge fan of the actual cover, the cover you see on streaming now. So I was like, how about I just put the full album, which this is, and the other LP is in here as well. Just put this in the cover I like the most, which is this Sorayama edition cover, which I think, you know, ties into the whole theme of rebirth, afterlife, everything with the, you know, baby Abel there. He's also worked with Sorayama in the past, like with the Echoes of Silence anniversary edition. Also those big, you know, feminine robot things he has like at his shows and stuff, that's, I believe, designed by Sorayama as well. So it kind of all, you know, fits together in my mind. So yeah, I thought it would be a cool thing to do. And yeah, great album from last year. Next, gonna be another great album from last year. That's gonna be 21 Pilots' Breach. Of course, if you follow me on various other platforms, you probably know what I think about this record already, but I'm not, you know, a huge 21 Pilots fan, or at least not as much as I once was in the past. I still love their album Trench, and I think this is probably their best since then. And yeah, just a great kind of end of this whole chapter for them, and just some of their best songwriting, best production, best just really in-your-face performances. And it's this, I believe it was called like Crimson Wave or something, this pressing was called. And yeah, just had to grab it, one of my favorites of last year. And yeah, I mean, you know, if you know, you know. All right, next I have a few that can go together. This guy I've been a fan of for a few years now. Another one of my favorite records from last year. It's gonna be McKinley Dixon. So Magic Live, of course, from last year. Very, you know, jazz rap, very lyrically dense, very interesting. Just some of the best jazz rap production I've heard in a long time. Got it on this really nice light blue turquoisey press. But yeah, it definitely one of the most underrated rappers working right now, I would say. But yeah, McKinley for sure. Then of course I had to also get his record from 2023, the record that kind of made me fall in love with his stuff in the first place. I actually found this in Chicago when I was there over the summer, at one of their local record stores up there. This is a, I believe, recycled disc, which is really cool, and it's this really nice greenish color, which I like a lot. I know some of them have I've seen like some orange discs out there for this album too, but so it all varies from the recycled material, but nonetheless, it's still sounds fantastic. And yeah, one of my favorites from 2023, this album for sure. So next, another kind of pair of albums. So this band I actually really just totally fell in love with this past year. I've been, you know, I heard rumblings of them for years now, but that is going to be Wolf Alice. This is their album from 2021, Blue Weekend. I picked up over the summer as well. This is, of course, a nice light blue, or kind of translucent blue press. It's really nice, sounds really good. This is also the version that came with a live CD, which is really nice. Just a couple live versions of a few of these songs. Just really lets Ellie's vocals shine even more, I would say. But of course, I got really into them because of their new album that came out last year. That's The Clearing. This is the, of course, alternate cover version. I know some people are kind of iffy on this album. I really did enjoy it, though. Again, Ellie's songwriting and vocals really shine on this album. It's a really nice kind of like 70s vintage tinged throwback kind of pop rock album. This is also a pretty nice Coke bottle clear version of the album. And there's also like some lyric stuff and everything in there too, but in a poster, I believe. But I really, one of the main reasons I did get this version too was, if you could see back there among my Legos and other stuff, but that is actually the original cover, but signed by all the members of the band. So I got that, framed that up back there. Really great addition to my stuff, and just love of the band and everything. But next, going to be a few kind of just one-offs, a few classics I've been meaning to pick up recently, but also start with this one. This is, of course, the latest JPEGMAFIA album, I Lay Down My Life For You. This is another one I found when I was in Chicago over the summer. Just one I had been meaning to pick up since it came out in 2024. I do really enjoy the sleeve here. Kind of the embossed little, you know, the JPEG logo and everything, and also on the back too. Really nice. It's also on white vinyl, I believe. Yeah. And this is, of course, just the original edition, not like the deluxe director's cut edition or anything. It's funny, I kept this little tag here that was on it in the store, because, of course, Peggy's not one to usually label any of his stuff as thoroughly as other people. So, like, not even on the spine or anything. It's just blank. So it's kind of funny that they had to label it for people who maybe didn't know. But, yeah. Great album, you know, as consistent as Peggy has been these past few years. Next, first classic I'll show you, it's Tracy Chapman, self-titled. This is an album I hadn't heard in full till last year, and I really did enjoy it. I was also able to find this pretty cheap locally, so I was like, why the hell not? So yeah, just standard black vinyl and everything. It is the 35th anniversary reissue that had been going around last year, even though I think that was 2023, I believe, but I guess it had finally been circling again or something. But yeah, nonetheless, great album. Of course, everyone knows Fast Car, but the whole album is really great too. Really great singer-songwriter album. Next, another recent reissue, but one I'd been meaning to pick up for a while. It's gonna be Stankonia, Outkast, my first physical Outkast album. I've been meaning to get a bunch of their stuff. Like, I'd hope to get AT Aliens, Aquemini sometime soon at least too, but really great start with Stankonia. This is the 25th anniversary edition. Not the big expansive one or anything, just the standard album on white vinyl, but nonetheless still sounds really great. Really great to finally have this in my personal collection. But yeah, if it wants to go back in. Of course, the only downside, you know, no gatefold for 2LP, but you know, what are you gonna do? It's all good. I do like the kind of glossy cover though, at least. All right, next, a bit of a more interesting one. So this is actually gonna be the soundtrack to the film Sorry Baby. If you guys don't know, Sorry Baby is a great film, probably my favorite film I saw last year, 2025. Eva Victor directorial debut. She's also really great in the film. She's just such a important film, and kind of subtle, quiet film about just abuse awareness and everything, but also really funny at the same time, and just really moving all together. But I also really did love the subtle and ambient score throughout, and I've been just meaning to get more scores and soundtracks and stuff to put on in the background whenever, and this is a great addition to that. It's on a great blue pressing. Here's a photo of Ava and Naomi Aki's character in the film as well. There's also a great booklet of stuff. There's also like a cute little voice memo of Ava at the end of side 2, which is really fun, and another like fun little Easter egg to a release like this. This is of course through the A24 vinyl shop, which they always have very thoughtful and very interesting pressings over there. I do have the Sing Sing soundtrack from them as well, and we'll see if I get anything. I know they've put out Marty Supreme recently, and the Moment's coming out soon, and just they've always been cool about that stuff. But yeah, next, another pair of a few things from the same artist. First is going to be the U EP from Larry Lovestein, The Velvet Revival, aka Mac Miller. It's a little jazz side project from, I believe, 2012, which I've always really enjoyed this little thing. My partner really loves it as well, so we actually found it when this was repressed pretty recently, I believe in October. We were in Nashville at the time, and I found it at one of their stores. I'm like, why the hell not? Yeah, just the standard black pressing. I know there's a few different ones out there, but yeah, sounds really good. Of course, it's on just a little 10-inch vinyl, which is really always kind of fun, kind of cute. But yeah, to go along with that, I finally did pick up the Tiny Desk. Of course, this was from the Swimming era. Really great renditions of 3 tracks from Swimming, which is an album I still need to pick up physically in some form. But I do have Circles as well, and I need to get more of my favorite Mac stuff for sure. But this is of course a good step in the right direction. Of course, it's the blue disc. You guys are familiar, probably know already, but also the B-side is that little etching of his signature, I believe from like the Polaroid they always do on the Tiny Desk. But yeah, it just says "Love Always, Mac Miller." Really great little nod there. But yeah, sounds great. I wish they would do more of these. I know Anderson .Paak has one, but I feel like there's so many great Tiny Desks that people would totally get physically. But yeah. All right, next is gonna be, how about we do these? Yeah, I'll do these 2 next. This one I really meant to show last episode when I showed the Carrie and Lowell 10th anniversary vinyl I got, but this is of course the greatest gift, kind of the outtakes, different versions, B-sides of Carrie and Lowell, of course by Sufjan Stevens, if I didn't mention that already. Yeah, I just picked it up online for pretty cheap. Just thought I would, it would be the kind of defining piece to like complete my like Carrie and Lowell era Sufjan Stevens collection. But it's this really nice kind of ambery yellow disc. And yeah, love a lot of these tracks on here, like with Lake Monster. I love the different versions of like All of Me Wants All of You, 4th of July, that Drawn to the Blood, like more electronic versions, really cool too. And then yeah, just more of those B-sides like City of Roses, then The Greatest Gift, of course, title track. But yeah, really great kind of overlooked piece in Sufjan's catalog, I would say. But yeah, I mean, you can't really go wrong with a lot of his stuff anyway. So yeah, oh, I also would want to shout out something I just got, something that recently came out. It's the Carrie and Lowell 33 and third book, which if you guys are familiar with these, it's kind of like a book mainly of like essay analysis kind of writing of a specific album. I have a couple more, like I have the OK Computer one, the Hounds of Love one, and the Prince Sign of the Times one, but I've always been interested in these. I've only just started this one, but it's already really interesting. It's written by he's more of like a cultural critic and like theology person, so that's really cool, especially in the concept of Sufjan's work, how faith-based it can be. So far it is really interesting. I recommend it for sure. This is one of the more, I think this just came out in January, so with another batch of them, I know they released like Frank Ocean's Blonde recently, and Plastic Beach, The Cure's Disintegration. Yeah, there's a lot, and this is, I think there are over 200 of these now, so yeah, definitely recommend those if you're not that familiar with it. But to go back into the vinyl stuff, one of the more recent pickups for me too, it's gonna be Baby by Dijon. Been loving his stuff since, absolutely, like many of you probably. I think he even gets more into his influences in a good way on this album. It's gonna be the silver pressing, which is really nice. Fits the vibe for sure. But yeah, just even more, I think, kind of Princey, D'Angelo-y, you know, and even more like in that interesting R&B lo-fi abrasive production. And yeah, I think it deserves all the hype it had gotten last year. And yeah, he's definitely, you know, an artist to watch out for, definitely in the next few years as well. But yeah, great record. We're getting close to the end here. I think we have just three more for you. But probably some of the most personal to me in the past few months that I've finally picked up. But so this one, surprised I hadn't had it already, but it's, of course, Thriller, Michael Jackson, you know, best-selling album of all time. I actually found this at like a flea market, kind of like an outdoor picker flea market thing around where I live over the summer, end of the summer. Yeah, only like $20, and I thought, you know, if I didn't have this album already, I wanted maybe like a older edition, like a kind of a something that has a story behind it, you know, not just another like repress from any old retailer or anything. So yeah, and I think it is pretty, maybe not original press, but definitely one of the early represses. But it still looks fantastic, and especially the disc itself. I don't need to pull it out here, but yeah, it played fantastic. And yeah, just one I had to pick up some one time or another, so why not now? And yeah, really, you can tell because I already sleeved it and everything, so yeah. You know, what else is there to say, I guess. But speaking of D'Angelo, the minute ago, had to pick up Voodoo pretty recently. Been meaning to pick this up for years, but you know, since his untimely, tragic passing back in October, I was like, all right, I need to do something. I'm on the hunt for Black Messiah, at least two, pretty soon, hopefully. But yeah, I found this at one of my local stores and just had to get it. Just standard black, nothing crazy, but I believe it is like 180 gram. It sounds fantastic. Here's like the little lyric sheet and everything. But yeah, I mean, rest in peace, D'Angelo. He's, you know, icon, legend, everything you want to say, probably true. And of course, this album speaks for itself too. So yeah, fantastic. And lastly, I want to leave you with this. This has been on like my ISO list for literal years, like probably since the turn of the decade or something. Like it's been years and years. I just haven't been, you know, it just slipped my mind. Haven't been in a great place like to throw money around, whatever you want to say. But this album has really grown on me throughout, since it's come out, just has grown on me more and more throughout the years, for better, for worse, you know. But yeah, it's just kind of a gift I got for myself since graduating college this past December. It was like, I'm gonna do something special for myself, and I was like, maybe I'll finally pull the plug on this I've wanted for a long time. But it's gonna be Brief Inquiry, 1975. Of course, 2018 album, one of my favorites of the 2010s, if not ever. You know, say what you want about Matty Healy, about the band, about, you know, their fan base, whatever. I just, you know, I've had a lot of memories with this band, especially this album, and yeah, just these songs, especially talking like the subject matter, just has, unfortunately as it may be, have gotten just more relevant, I think, since it's come out. And even some of the production and stuff that I wasn't like super crazy about when it came out, I've just grown to love in other artists' work too, and just how they've kind of melded their style, their signature kind of pop rock style, with these more electronic elements too. It's really interesting. And this is the yellow version. I believe it was originally like the Urban Outfitters version, but I've just always really loved that shade of yellow, especially for this record. And there just haven't been many pressings of this in general, so you know, if I was gonna get one eventually, I wanted it to be somewhat of a special version, and this is definitely one of them. But yeah, it still sounds great. It, just really, just a record that's really grown to be really important to me. So yeah, have to finally do it justice. But yeah, that's gonna be the video today. I'll see you guys soon. We'll see. But yeah, thanks for watching if you made it this far, and see ya.